Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Yep, it's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee. We got some special guests in the building. We got Mr. Tyrese Gibson, director Deon Taylor, and Naomie Harris. They got a new movie coming out called Black Tie and Blue. It'll be out October 25th in theaters everywhere. Good morning, my people.
Good morning, man.
Black and Blue is the movie.
Black Tie and Blue.
Black Tie and Blue.
Man, they starting already.
Now, what is this movie based on?
Well, first of all, it's the #1 movie in the world, so we're going to claim that.
Yes.
Put it in the air.
But it is an incredible action thriller. If you love movies like Sicario, if you love Training Day, this is that film.
Okay.
Except this movie has a really, really dope, relevant message in it. The movie actually deals with body cams, and Naomie Harris is to my right. Oscar-nominated Naomie Harris. I got to make sure
for
she
Moonlight.
Get it.
Moonlight.
Moonlight. We have to
Real.
make sure we say that. And this man to my left, the legend, basically she sees a young kid get shot, and and she records it on her body cam, and basically that's where the movie actually starts. So instead of her conforming to what the police want her to do, which is give them the body cam, she basically makes the choice that she's not going to do that.
It always takes a woman, a black woman, to stand up for what's right.
Well, here,
That's
let
so
me tell you
true.
something. What's great though? You just
So
hit
true.
you just hit the nail on the head. See, you're not gonna believe this. This is the first ever film in the history of film to star African American female as a lead as a cop in a
Really?
movie ever,
Huh.
ever.
Yeah, I never
Wow,
So
I
this
can't
is-
believe I never even thought about that.
So this is that's why I'm up here this early in the morning after touring the world, because I had to make sure I came up here to tell everybody that's watching, listening, we got to support a film like this. Hollywood didn't even know they had this film. So now we're here, man, making sure everybody know.
We on the Breakfast Club.
Absolutely.
And you guys are both producers on it too, right? Tyrese and
No,
Naomie.
I'm not.
Oh, I thought you guys listed.
Well, today they are. Today they are. Yes,
I
you
saw
are.
it listed
Yes,
as
you are,
producers.
Tyrese.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yes, say
I'm
yes,
not a
yes, say
producer.
yes.
That's news to
Just
me.
go with it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
Do you think this movie shows a different relationship between police and people of color due to everything that's happening with police brutality now? I want to ask Naomie and Ty that. I'm gonna start with you, Naomie.
A different side of
Yeah,
things?
like this is a different relationship.
I think it's different because it has the perspective of being from the police. Like you are rooting for a woman of color who's a police officer within the force, you know? And I think the whole premise of everything is really about this whole divide between the black community and the police force. And when Alicia joins the police force, she's told by her fellow police officer, basically you have to give up your black identity now. You are blue now.
blue.
You're no longer black. And her whole realization, and I think that the whole theme of the movie is that no one should have to make that choice. Those lines should be completely blurred because ultimately the police force are there to serve and protect everyone, irrespective of color. So why should you have to choose?
What about you, Ty?
You know, honestly, man, first of all, I love y'all. And thank y'all for having us on. And
Love you
thank
too,
y'all
my
for
brother.
watching. You know, I really went into this thing thinking about Eric Garner and thinking about, for whatever reason, Biggie Smalls' mom's was on my mind a
Really?
lot. Wallace, yes, because she'll never be able to sing happy birthday to her son. She'll never be able to hug him. She'll never be able to be at his wedding or do anything. And when we think about the fact that his murder, as much as he mean to us in the culture, his murder is still unsolved. And I'm sure his mom every day, like every other mother and father and cousin and nephew, they waking up every day just hoping that they'll get that call, that the police department or investigators are going to be more intentional about trying to get to the bottom of what actually happened. And when I think about Nipsey, when I think about Tamir Rice, I just went into a headspace thinking about so many different things to pull from. And Naomie will tell you, and Deon will tell you, we realized quickly from the fact that we shot this in New Orleans that as much as we're in this movie, this is not about us. You got picket signs, you got people boycotting, you got the Black Lives Matter movement, and then you could also put a movie like this and make it as vulnerable and make it as real and on the edge of your seat as it is, because in my mind, you should never be able to say, you know, I feel bad about what they are dealing with.
That's real.
They.
Yeah.
And you can only imagine what it must feel like to be a police officer who's trying to do the right thing, and there's so many cover-ups going on within the police department, because we've heard so many stories about police officers and how they've lied and how they hide camera footage and all of that, and that's going on every day right now.
Well, you got to keep in mind the Rodney King beating, which is the most legendary thing ever captured on camera. None of those officers had body cams.
Right.
That was somebody who rolled out of bed and said, I don't like what's going, and filmed it, and then put it on VHS and sent it to the news. So you would assume that with everybody having cameras and video cameras on their cell phones, or Ring at your front door with motion sickness, you would feel like we're safer because every corner has a camera, every car has a camera. You got
Satellites.
you got satellite, you got everything.
It don't matter if they're getting away with murder, though. You know what I'm saying?
Every bit of
like,
it.
so they don't care.
No, but that's what the movie, I think that's what's driving everyone to the movie theaters right now. Why the movie is getting rave reviews is because the reality is, and we was just talking about this the other day, when Eric Gardner was choked and killed, the reality is why that was happening, there are 7 to 10 other officers behind him with body cameras on. At the end of the day, when they all go to the precinct and have to file a report, you're waiting for one person to be like, yo, that shit wasn't right. And that never happens.
And where's the footage from all the other body cams?
So what happens is, what happens in Black and Blue, which is so dope, is the Naomie Harris character sees and witnesses something like that. And instead of her conforming to that, she basically is like, no, I'm going to go upload this footage and tell on all y'all asses. And at that point, they actually begin to frame her, which happens a lot.
Which is, listen, a lot of niggas don't understand the difference in a snitch versus a whistleblower.
Word.
They don't understand. Tekashi 6ix9ine is snitching.
Absolutely.
He got caught up in some dumb shit, trying to live a life and lifestyle that he know nothing about.
Absolutely.
Saying, you know what, this is hip hop, this is the picture I need to paint. And then the reality of what the fuck he was in and had going on sat in for him quick.
Yes.
And now he's saying, I'm fucked and I'm gonna take everybody down with me.
That's a snitch.
When you're a whistleblower, you take an oath in office to do right by your community that you're serving. Your salary is taxpayers' dollars. And you said, if I see something, I'm going to say something. And that ain't snitching. That's the reason why Trump is fucked up right now, losing sleep, because he's like, yo, he's losing sleep because somebody said, I overheard something and I witnessed something. And I'm an honorable, this is what Naomie's character is in the movie. She did 2 tours in Afghanistan from New Orleans, left when she was 16, came back to New Orleans, her mom's died in the movie. And she said, I still want to serve my community, so she becomes a rookie. They say, wait in the car. All of this is in the trailer, so I'm not giving the movie away. They say, wait in the car. She hears something, goes upstairs, and end up witnessing her own partners in the police force murdering some black boys in the hood. Catches it on her body cam. They're on a mission for the whole movie to kill her because they do not want that body cam footage to be turned in.
I wonder how cops will perceive this, because I agree with everything you're saying, but the cops would say, no, that is snitching, because she took an oath to protect the blue.
No.
That's not the oath they take, though.
No,
is it?
that's not the oath they take. Is if you kill somebody, I don't say nothing.
No.
I mean, but didn't he tell you that you're no longer black, you blue now?
Yeah, but that's the
yeah,
problem.
but you serve as people. You don't serve
That's the problem.
your coworkers. You're supposed to be. You're paid with taxpayer dollars.
Oh, I agree.
But so last night, a group of cops, we finished screening the movie here in New York, and I was blown away. A group of police officers came up to me, which I'll send you the picture so you can see it, and all of them had already bought tickets to see Black and Blue. And the reason is because there is a code. You're right. The Black and Blue line is there. Everyone can see it. We understand it. But what a lot of officers are trying to get out of is, at some point, man, you got to be human. I think the world has forgotten how to be human. We forgot how to have integrity. It doesn't matter what the street code is or what the blue code is. At some point, man, we got to actually get back to being human and having integrity. If I'm with you and you kill somebody and you a cop and I see you kill this young man or this young woman, it's my job to be like, yo, man, I love you, but you fucked up.
Right.
Straight up, man. And it's the same exact thing. If you the nicest guy in the world and you get drunk and you drive a car and you crash and kill somebody, they don't care about how nice you are.
Yeah, the
reality
reality
is
is
you got to
accountable.
go deal with that. You have to have integrity and you have to go deal with that. So this movie is getting a lot of attention. There's a lot of people that are really rallying around the film. And like I said, I wanted to come here because we're in the world right now, man. You know, I'm probably the biggest independent filmmaker out here.
Humble brag.
No, it is. I'm telling you that because normally we don't get to run around and do what I'm doing right now and support films like this. If we was doing some movie where it's a bunch of buffoonery, you know, it'll be billboards all over the world. But at this point, it's like, no, we really trying to do something that's a dope movie that has
a message.
But at the same time, is probably the event of the year. So I had to come to you guys because you guys got the biggest microphone to the world. And I had to make sure everybody out there know we got to go rally around these types of films because if we do that, then they make more movies like this.
Right.
You know what I mean? If we don't, they make more movies like that.
Naomie, how emotional was it for you to film that particular scene where you had to witness young black men getting shot and killed by the cops?
It was really hard. It was really emotional. I think the whole thing, though, was like a really emotional roller coaster. And I think the audience as well is taken on that crazy journey because it's just 12 hours. The whole movie is set over 12 hours. But in that 12 hours, so much happens. It's such an emotional roller coaster. And it's this whole kind of cat and mouse game with Alicia and the cops and her being hunted down, basically, and nobody willing to stand up.
Tyrese, what was your affiliation now? Because you're the lifeline here.
This is great. This is great. Tell them, man, what you doing in the movie.
In the movie.
Tell them. No.
He paying you, nigga. You talk when he asks you to talk.
Hurry up and tell them.
In the movie, my character is a real grimy hood dude that works at a liquor store right across from the projects in the 3rd Ward in New Orleans. And I knew Alicia. I knew Naomie's character in the movie, but we all knew that she went off and became military, and now she's an officer. So, you know, we don't fuck with the police in most cases when you in the hood. It ain't even unspoken. It's very spoken that. Yeah. There's this divide of tension and
I mean, NWA wrote a song called "Fuck the Police."
I mean, it's about as real as it gets. I mean, here's the thing.
Right.
Me personally, I was born and raised in Watts. Before I got on, Watts was known for the Watts riots of 1965, where the President of the United States at the time flew Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. from Atlanta to Watts to stop niggas from burning down the city because of police brutality, excessive force, murder, racism, brutality, killing us like flies.
Lyndon B. Johnson got him down there.
That's it. And they just was done. And they said, we need this influential black man to come out here and get black people to calm down. And if you look at the YouTube footage, they wasn't even ready to listen to Dr. King.
Hell no. You ever seen King in the Wilderness?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that doc is amazing. It shows the whole thing.
So to me, as much as we're focused on the body cam aspect of this all, what's been going on has been playing out for real. Like Eric Garner's mother is still at home, miserable and frustrated as we speak.
Word.
And they're letting these cops get off. Now, I want to be responsible and say that not all cops are bad. Not all cops out here, excessive force, beat down, and corruption and murder, and not all cops have been members of the Ku Klux Klan and became a police officer who's on a mission to kill black people. Not all. But in my mind, if you see something and you're not willing to say something, then to me, you as fucked up as the person who did the act of corruption.
I agree with that.
And that's what this movie is about.
In real life, have you ever had to call the cops on somebody? Because I know we're very hesitant to call the cops when something
I'll
happens.
call the police in a minute.
Shit,
Have you called the cops on somebody?
You goddamn right. Especially in the neighborhood I live in now.
I'll call the cops in a minute.
What?
I need
I don't
help.
think I've ever called.
Isn't it crazy that when you
I've
see
never
it go
called the police.
wrong, like what
Police,
happened
yeah.
in Fort Worth, where Tatiana Jefferson was in her home.
Yeah.
The neighbor thought he was doing a good thing by calling the cops because he saw the door was open. And then the cops come and they shoot and kill her in her own
That's
home.
what I'm saying.
And that's things that sometimes it makes it scary. He was doing the right thing by calling the cops, so he thought, and then something like that happens. And I think a lot of times we're in situations where it would be the general idea of what police do is to call the police. But it's hard to do that because things go left so quickly.
Yeah, but see, in L.A., this is something that one of my dudes told me. He said, yo, it's so crazy that a cop killed one of the homies many years back, and then we needed the police to protect us at the funeral because the funeral was in a neighborhood with some niggas we don't get along with. So it is this, it's so many layers.
Yeah.
We had the Rampart division, we had the Rodney King, we had the OJ trial. I was one of the people in the hood looting when the whole OJ Simpson thing went down.
What'd you steal?
A lot of shit. I actually stole a hat that looked like that in the background.
But I wanted to say this. What's interesting in the film, we actually deal with that. Tyrese's character, and that was one of the biggest things for me to actually add a lot of authenticity into the script so it could actually mirror real life. And in the film, Tyrese's character actually has a felony. And what happens is he actually calls the police. That's why I was asking if you ever called the police. He's at the store.
Because he's had a felony?
No, he feels like someone's breaking into the store, and he works there. So he calls 911, and they come only to arrest him.
Wow.
Oh, so his character's on probation, must be.
So I wanted to deal with that because so many times, I'm from Gary, Indiana, the murder capital of the world, and I've seen it all. I've had too many cousins that's doing life. I've had too many cousins that's been shot and killed, too many family members that's in prison right now. And the reality, and one that I'm helping right now is just got out. And the reality is when you are inside of that system and you call them, no matter what you're talking about, they already looking at you. And I thought this movie needed to deal with that. And these are nuances. And what's incredible about what's going on with this type of film, and I'm asking everyone to check this out. Normally when you make a movie that has all this heavy stuff, that's called an auteur film. That's like, oh, this is a messaging movie. People don't want to go see that. Preachy. We're going to get up there and say a bunch of stuff. Yeah. Or you make a movie that's a Fast and Furious style movie where it's popcorn, adrenaline. We have nothing to say except have a good time and have fun. This is the first time I've ever seen a film that is both. So you're going to go there, throw as much popcorn in your mouth as you can, drink as much soda as you want, but at the same time, in these small little nuances, you are getting messaging that's saying like, yo, and that message throughout the entire film is be the change.
Question, like a lot of black officers are referred to as sellouts. Does your respect for black officers change after seeing this movie?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, man, yes.
Absolutely.
For the good ones.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there are a lot of good ones, and what we're
many good ones.
What we're really pointing at is, okay, now that we've actually tabled this conversation about what do we need to do in the community, do you have any answers, right? Because everybody's always like, let's talk about it. Like, what are we talking about? Here's the answer. The answer is a lot of people need to understand right away in these communities, because I come from the project communities. First, we got to get away from the idea that our votes don't count. And I'm not talking about the president vote. I'm talking about voting in your community.
Right.
Who is your council member? Who is the person that's overseeing the chief of police? Who are these people? So while we're all rallying around somebody being killed, we need to actually be proactive and rally around who is in office in our city. So now, once you start doing that, the other thing is, how do we affect change in our community? We have to begin to send our youngins out to school, criminal justice majors, and ask them now, instead of going to the military, come back and patrol your neighborhood. So now you could actually have homegrown police officers that actually know that young dude on the corner, know your mom, know your auntie. It's a small step, but it's a step that we have to begin to take so we could actually have change. Otherwise, all we doing is screaming and yelling when they busting police officers into our town like Ferguson that don't belong there. And we're like, oh, man, he don't even know the community. Why is that? Where's our people? You know what I mean? So anyways, I'm going to get off my soapbox.
So are you trying to change the narrative of police brutality in the country, or the narrative of police in our community.
No,
No,
it's the dynamic of see something, say something.
That's it.
Got you.
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
Like, you know what's
the right
crazy?
thing.
We don't even realize how desensitized we've all gotten because
that's a
we
fact.
see wild shit come across our timeline every day. Like, right now, there's a white boy at home who said, oh, he killed 33. I'm going to try and do 65. Because for whatever reason, that crazy is, I want to trump, pun intended, I want to trump how crazy that was and take it up a level. This is, going back to what Deon said earlier, and this is me, from Watts, from the hood, from South Central. This is an event. This movie ain't gonna put you to sleep.
No, it
I
isn't.
got too much banking on this shit. Listen, I'm not talented enough to come up here and figure out a way to get y'all to understand why y'all need to see this movie. Ain't no preaching. Somebody said to me the other day, and they described it thoroughly. She said in the interview, I got to the theater. From the moment the movie started, I was on the edge of my seat. I was screaming. And she said throughout the movie, 2 hours, she was fucked up and on the edge of her seat, couldn't breathe, was crying, emotional, rooting, didn't want anything to happen. It was like a virtual experience where she was in the fucking screen, like a video game.
Yeah.
And she said when the movie went off, she had to sit in her chair for 30 minutes to just calm down before she could walk to her car, because she had such a cultural experience.
Right.
And this was a white woman who did an
Wow.
interview,
Really?
who said, I now know. I said, you know what?
I assume she was black from that description.
No.
I did, because we do have that. When you see something like that, we all know somebody who has had interactions with the police. That's why.
Here's the thing. The reason why she was going crazy, because she has never experienced that. And then I said to her in closing, this is what it feels like to be black in America. Because you would assume if the Rolls Royce is there for these successful folks in the Wraith, I'm good, right? Ain't nothing gonna happen to me.
Because you
No.
guys both have race.
Nah,
You and
I
Charlie.
don't. Tyrese definitely got a race.
That's not the point. That's not
I don't have no race. I have a 2014 Chevy Tahoe that I'm leasing.
Charlamagne, it's all right.
All right.
You ain't got a Wraith because you put all your money into your skin creams. But listen to what I'm saying. You got your priorities in order. It's all right. Because I swear, nigga, when I walked in this motherfucker, I thought you was envy.
You told me I got my melanin back. Knock it off.
No, you was on your way back, and then shit changed since I seen you. But anyway, so she said, I said to her, that's what it feels like to be black in America.
Naomie, being more, I guess, worldly, because you're not from here, right? Jamaica and the UK. What are your thoughts on police brutality? Is it what we have going on in America? Is it a world thing, or is this like in America is different than it is in Jamaica and in the UK? What's the relationship with the police that you've seen?
So it's different in the UK, but we have the Black Lives Matter movement. We have we deal with the same level of like corruption and police brutality. Like we have so many unexplained deaths, perfectly healthy black men who are arrested and go into police custody and then end up dead, and that is totally unexplained. There hasn't been a single police arrest over a black death ever.
Whoa.
Wow.
Ever in the UK. So, we have the same issues. They're just much more extreme over here. So it's on a different scale over here.
I'm glad you said that, because I was wondering. I'm like, will they give this film backlash because it's not an American woman playing the role?
Nah.
No, not at all.
No way.
Not at all.
There's not. Listen, I got my ears to the street. When she does her interviews, the English accent is on, but don't get it fucked up. Don't get it fucked up. You don't hear one piece of British popping up in that screen in that movie.
No,
How
but
about this? I'm gonna keep it real, Charlamagne. This shit needs to be said. Naomie, she messed me up, bro.
What you mean?
Because I got to New Orleans like 2 weeks before it was time to film. She fresh off of Moonlight with the Oscar nomination, everybody coming at me like, yo, you know Naomie, she the real. And I'm like, yo,
that would be me saying that.
The battery.
You're putting that pressure on.
Putting the battery.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, all right, I need to go into this thing and understand that I'm about to dance with a lion. So in my world, when we went into this table read, when I talked to her, she's sweet, she's nice, she's hit me with the British, like, nice to meet you, babe, and hit me with all that. So then we get into the table read, and there's no British accent. And I'm sitting like 4 people from her.
Right.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on, right? And she's killing it in the table read.
Incredible.
And if I had to explain what was going on in my brain, the only thing I could connect it to was in the movie When We Were Kings, when you seen Muhammad Ali had to practice right next to what was it? George Foreman, and he was hitting the punching bag, and then Muhammad Ali had to like realize that just from him hitting that punching bag like that, I'm either gonna get my ass completely beat or I'm gonna have to step up. But I needed to hear the, and that's what happened, bruh. So I really believe, as a black female lead in this movie, with the sensitivities that's real for her from where she's from, and stepping into the responsibility of what she has to carry in this movie, you will see something in this movie that's gonna change you.
Yes.
Naomie is not playing with nobody.
Yeah.
And she elevated me, and I already know what torch I'm carrying, but the tone was set on so many levels. And we had a couple moments where, you know, I said, Naomie, you may not be used to doing this, but I am so concerned about this torch that we got to carry. Can we practice? Can we spend some time in between filming? I'd much rather her tell that story. But
What do you think, Naomie?
Well, I was very concerned.
About Tyrese? I understand your concern, Naomie. Finally, some realness being said in this goddamn interview. I understand your concern for Tyrese, Naomie.
It's like, what? Spend alone time? Why?
I ain't know about all. I didn't mean it like that. All right.
spend a long time.
But honestly, it was so cool because basically he was just trying to share his experience, you know, because he was like, this is the kind of community that Alicia is from, is the kind of community that he is from, and I needed to learn about that.
Right.
You know, I am British, and I'm learning about an African American experience, and it is different. And so I have to be sensitive to that, and I have to do as much research as I possibly can. And I did as much as I possibly could. But I could not have got through this movie if I didn't have Ty by my side, who was like, I'm going to help you. I'm going to show you. When your accent is messed up or whatever, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to be there for you. And he has been a friend for me throughout. And I really thank you for that.
Deon, I know that Naomie was the first person, right, that was attached. You got her as an independent filmmaker. What's the process like of you actually locking in your talent, and how did this all happen?
Man, it was a whirlwind. You know, I had just finished The Intruder.
Yes.
Thank God
Great
Anthony
movie,
Mackie wasn't available.
We playing Captain America, bro.
Thank God.
I had just finished The Intruder, and I had not done a studio movie. And I had so many offers to do studio films, and I just didn't want to do it because we had been financing our own movies, myself and Robert Smith and Roxanne. And when I read the script, I was like, man, I've never seen anything like this. And I knew what I could add to it. So as we began to cast, obviously the first choice was Naomie. And it was a hell of a fight. And I'm going to say this publicly. It was a fight for me to get Tyrese.
I was going to ask you, did you have any concerns about
Yes, I had no
Tyrese?
concerns, zero. He was my first choice.
Who'd you have to fight, though? Because y'all funding it yourself. I mean, that's the beauty of black.
You had to fight
this-
Tyrese.
This was a studio film. So I signed up for this movie. And I'm like, I'm going to make the film because of what the messaging was. And I loved it. And it was every other name that you could think of except Tyrese.
Wow.
And I had to convince the entire studio that this was a legend to my left. It's only so many people that has one name, right? His name is Tyrese. And anywhere in the world you say his name, they know it. And I refused to work with anyone else because I wanted to put somebody that was that dynamic. And people forget, John Singleton found Tyrese.
My God.
John Singleton put his hands on this brother to my left first. So that means you're special when you begin to think about the people he's touched. And I just thought, and I explained to the studio at the time, like, y'all got this all wrong. Y'all just forgot because he's been in these major films and whatever's going on in his life that y'all think is happening. I said, no, we got to pick him up.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the new Hollywood, man. We're not sitting back and watching people drown and act like we don't see it because we want to stay afloat. At this point, man, I'm the guy that I'm like, nope, come on, man, give me your hand. I'm pulling you up. So when I fall down one day, you pull me up.
That's real.
And
Well,
this dude,
he's speaking to the elephant in the room. We all seen too much play out publicly, privately, and there were some people that decided we need to hit the pause button on all things Tyrese right now and just let this all play out. So on the other side of stuff that I don't even want to get into, y'all seen it all play out. What more do you want from me? I wanted my career back.
You have to say it in character.
Yeah, I'm about to release my new single. It's called "What More Do You Want From Me?" It's featuring Charlamagne, and we're gonna put some dark makeup on. It's gonna be crazy.
I feel like I should get co-production credit on that.
So I'm gonna keep it real. Deon, who never allowed any of that stuff to ever look at me any different, is a rare gem of a guy to be able to say he's the guy for the role. I know y'all want to go to other places, but this is it. And
it's a dark
Naomie-
role, so why not get somebody dark skin?
great.
Well, no, here's the thing. Speaking to, speaking to, the reason that he wear black sweaters now is because there's a contrast. We used to,
He couldn't
it
have
used
got
to be
that wrong.
all one shade. I can see the niggas' facial hairs now. It's crazy. Anyway, so, listen, I just have to say this. I know what I'm capable of as an actor. I know where I can go. And it's partially my fault that I served up this box office CG action, blowing up cars, shootout, bang, 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 bang. Because when these other actors that have became the go-tos for the dramatic space are taking roles that I know I'm capable of doing, I sit back very frustrated because I know what I'm capable of, but they don't have me in mind. So outside of my stuff that we all seen play out publicly, it was also, can you put me opposite a savage of a level of a Naomie Harris and have me to keep up? And Deon knew, just like I may believe I knew what I was capable of, but it took him to go, get in the game. Let's go. All this shit they thinking and feeling and who they got in mind, and Michael B. and Anthony Mackie and Jamie and every name that was thrown out there, I understood why they wanted to go to these usual places. But, and that just goes to show you, like, ultimately, you can never allow your own value or your own self-worth to go down based on other choices that people may have in mind.
Right.
I was just on standby, bruh. I was sitting on the bench. I was holding all my L's. I took it on the chin, and I was just like, yo, if God were to give me another shot at turning this thing around, I'm going to work so fucking hard to be the best thing that I could be in this movie, and understand that I am physically walking inside of answered prayers, because this is a movie that I'm not supposed to be working on.
Right.
And this is what's crazy, and I'll shut up. All of my pains and my traumas that a lot of y'all prayed me out of and helped me to get through, I took all of those vulnerabilities into this movie. And you're gonna see it. There was no jokes, it was no it was no, I came fresh. It was like a woman who just gave birth, and whatever that vulnerability is, I took all that and poured it into this character. Yes. If I tried to do Black and Blue today, if Deon say, yo, we start next week, I don't know that I could give you what I gave you in this movie.
Because you had all that pain you was dealing with before.
It's his best performance ever. I'm going to just say hands down.
Jodie was pretty good in Baby Boy. That's a classic.
It is.
All jokes. I'm not even joking.
But
Jodie
this is exceptional. What he's doing, what he's playing, both of them. I've been rallying around Naomie and Tyrese for the last 2 months, telling everyone these are the two most riveting performances of the year. When you go see the movie, you will be floored and blown away by what Tyrese is doing on screen opposite Naomie.
better than Waist Deep.
Man, get out of here, man. You know what, man? You know what? Get him, man. Hit him with another joke, man. Hit him. Hit this motherfucker.
Listen, I like Waist
right
Deep.
now, man.
That scene
I
when
like
you walking
Waist
on the
Deep, too.
beach when everybody
Yo,
think you
man.
dead.
Nigga, you did some shit better than carrying a teddy bear, nigga.
Shout out to Megan, man. Megan was with us last night. Megan
Okay.
good, man.
Crazy.
Yes.
What is the difference between working a big franchise movie like this as opposed to doing an independent film, Tyrese?
Well, when most of what you have to say comes with no words, what me and Naomie did in this movie, you waiting on some shit to blow up. You waiting on a car to turn over. You waiting on the distraction. You waiting on the smoke. There's so many moments in this movie where me and this woman, we are just, bruh, no makeup, just raw. The most dark, unbearable, gloves off, let's go. And the CG, it's a different thing. It's let me put it to you like this. When he started talking about Fast and the Furious and Transformers or Bond or what are you talking about right now?
Right.
Like, that ain't got nothing to do with what we just did.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like, ladies and gentlemen, we got time Fast and the Furious, man. You just wrapped up Fast 9. Like, yo, please. Bro, we'll talk about Fast 9 when it's time. This is something else. That's all I'm saying. Like, men and women, Crips, Bloods, Essays, the Jungles, the Projects, the Nickerson Gardens, the Jordan Down, New Orleans, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx. Moms, dads who woke up on a Wednesday, grandparents who said, I love you, and they will never see their daughter, their son, ever again. And they will never have the murder to ever be solved. Y'all gotta remember, we know about Eric Garner because the shit had international news. But there's a lot of mothers and fathers who are losing their kids every day who don't even get no national press. They're on the local news and they don't go nowhere. Yeah. There's so many stories of corruption. They're trying to figure out which one do we take national.
All right.
No, it's crazy. And what he's speaking
It's
to
a
is
different kind of torch is what I'm saying.
Right.
It is, and I will share this with you, see, because it's been like, I don't, on my Instagram, I try to deal with a lot of filmmakers, a lot of people that understand where the movie came from. Just before getting ready to do Black and Blue, we had announced that I was getting ready to do a film called 38 with Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
And
I saw Nip talking about that.
Yeah, so Nip actually came up here to speak about the film, and we were locked in, man. Shout out to Bobby Francis, man, who put that together, the Brand Engine.
Shout out to Nipsey's whole family.
So Nipsey, we sat down, for hours, man, just talking about police corruption and what this movie should be and cops and drama and all these wonderful things. And obviously we know what happened. And that's probably my only regret is not moving fast enough to get that film made, which would have starred him. But when we took this film, a lot of those elements that were going to be in that 38, which was deal with social messaging, dealing with the streets, dealing with all the different energies that's, we're dealing with daily. I definitely wanted to drop those things into Black and Blue. And Tyrese was able to command the screen and really, really rep the culture in this film, man. So I'm basically telling everybody out there, this movie was put together by the universe. There's no way in the world you could make a movie like this 10, 12 months ago and then it be this relevant right now. We never was like, oh yeah, we gonna make a movie and it's gonna be about body cameras and then everybody gonna no.
And then,
it's all happening.
Like the last 2 months leading up to the release, there's
crazy.
been literally police brutality that's captured on body cam.
Every day.
Yeah.
I'm
every
like,
day.
I mean, we don't even gotta promote or talk about this movie at this point.
At all.
You just gotta show the local news and then have our trailer to come on right after. Like, it's right there. So, like, we need y'all to show up, man.
Right.
This Friday, October
sold.
25th.
I definitely, when it sounds life-changing.
Black
we
and
need y'all
blue.
to show up, man. This is one of them joints where you jump on that group chat, you jump on your social media. If you black in America, if you white and you live in the suburbs and you don't understand the black or Latino experience, I just hope that you decide to not say, you know, cancer ain't in my house, so I don't care about cancer.
Right.
Human and sex trafficking ain't in my house, so I don't care about it. My kids ain't in a cage sleeping in piss and shit and feces by the border, so I don't care about it. When you are black in America and Latino in America, you dealing with abuse, excessive force, murder. On a Wednesday, I was playing basketball with the homie. Thursday, he's dead. This Saturday, we burying him. We standing on the corner trying to raise money for his funeral because no one expected him to die. We never had insurance in place. It's so much real shit going on out here, and I can just speak to all my real ones from the hood, not just Watts or South Central. All my real ones from the hood. This ain't no cheesy shit. You ain't finna be in the theater for 2 hours and be like, what the fuck was that? It is as uncomfortable and as real as it gets. This ain't gonna put you to sleep. From the moment the movie starts to when it ends, you are about to have a real experience. And I'm gonna say this in closing. Y'all support real shit. More real shit gets made. You keep supporting slave movies, they gonna keep making them.
Oh.
I'm just putting it out there.
Here.
I'm sorry. He don't want me
I
to
saw
say
your
it.
Django audition tape, though.
Yo, listen.
I told you.
That was actually Charlamagne. All I'm saying is keep supporting real shit, and real movies will be. When they see us, these are the type of movies that need to be made that speaks to what we are living and experiencing every day.
That's right.
I need y'all to show up. I'm not talented enough to figure out a way to make you decide to come fuck with us Thursday night. This Thursday, October 24th, you can go see it early. But October 25th, Black and Blue is in theaters. We went as far as we could. We need y'all to show up in a real way. Buy out the theaters. Make a statement. Tag us in it.
That's right. Black and Blue, Tyrese Gibson, Deon Taylor, Naomie Harris. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And Charlamagne, thank you so much, brother. Seriously, man. See, I text you in the middle of the night, man, like, please don't cancel this. Please don't cancel this, man.
Thank you, Angela, for
we
showing
need it,
up,
man.
too.
Thank you,
Switch
brother.
some
I
things
appreciate
around.
you, man.
Word.
Seriously, man.
Nah, we had to make this happen for y'all, man.
We got to get on this Be Woke vote, man.
Let's do it.
All right.
It's
Thank
the
you so
Breakfast
much.
Club.